Klevgrand's OneShot is here and I've been having a blast with it for the last couple of days. As you may have deduced, OneShot is a sampler designed for one-shot samples. However, it's particularly strong for drums. I want to show you my top 5 features, so let's jump right in. Today we're going to be talking about OneShot's samples, effects suite, built-in buses, chokes, and UI. This thing is loaded with high quality samples. Each one of these slots corresponds to a MIDI note, and you can have up to 15. If you click edit on any slot, then you'll see the number of velocity sensitive samples that are mapped to each MIDI note. There are 24 samples just inside this one snare drum, which is allowing for an unmatched level of realism. So you can see here when I play more gently, it selects some of the earlier ones, and if I go quite hard, then you get some of these at the top here. You can also enable round robin mode, and if you put it to sequential, then it will just sequentially play each sample within the slot. Or you can set it to random, and it will pick a random sample each time. Now with 15 possible slots and upwards of 20 samples per slot, you're looking at a very high amount of complexity and realism here. You've got standard acoustic, pop and rock, soul and R&B, jazz, and much more. Let's pick this 60s drum kit. Something a little more jazzy. Something a little bit more experimental. And what's more, you can even swap out individual slots for new samples if there's just one particular sound you don't like. So say I didn't like that bass drum, you can switch it up. So it's really easy just to flick through sounds as you go. You can preview them as you've got the channel soloed and instantly hear the changes that you've made. I just wanted to show you one last experimental preset though that kind of opens up what's possible with OneShot as well. This pluck doo-doo is one of a few more melodic sounds that come with OneShot. So yeah, it's not just drums. I now want to move on to the second thing I want to talk about, which is the effects suite. So you get 2 inserts per slot, and that can be really handy if you want to tidy up or affect one of the sounds individually. So for example, with this tom, I just want to tidy it up with a little bit of EQ. So what I'm going to do is just open up the EQ module, bring the gain down a little on the low shelf, and now it will clash a bit less with the bass. Next up, we'll add a gate, and that's just to make sure it's not ringing out for too long. If you want it a little tighter, then you can just do that in the box too. Set the release and the threshold. And you're away. All your old favourites are here too, like reverb and delay. Being able to process each drum in the box is a game changer. Any effects you see here can also be mapped to the output. So for example, I might stick the distortion on here. And you can see you've got a few different options for saturation and distortion. I find the treble saturation is quite good for a bit of a lo-fi grungy sound. But you can also do full band saturation. And of course, the distortion's a little bit more heavy. One for the metal fans or maybe the IDM fans. I don't know, maybe settle that in the comments. Also, Finalizer is a must. This is a bus compressor that allows you to do some light compression, a bit of basic EQ, and then run it through a brick wall limiter on its way out. So that's a great way to give your drums a bit more oomph in the mix. So similarly to the output, you can also map any effects to these buses, which takes us neatly and segues us to my third favorite thing about output, the built-in buses. You won't need to worry too much about post-processing because you can put all the sounds into the same space using the room or the reverb on the buses. Each slot can be sent individually to the buses, which gives you a really high sense of control of how much of certain sounds you want to be going to the reverb or how much you want dry. So you can see I've set bus 1 to delay, and you can just do a bit of live dubbing with it in the mix. As I mentioned before, it's a really good way to put all your sounds into the same space too. So if you have a nice reverb set, then you can just send the appropriate amount of your kick, snare and hi-hats. It's also a great way of achieving parallel compression or distortion because you don't have to send your whole mix to either of those effects. You can just send the small bits of the signal that you want to affect. So now I've sent a little bit of each slot to bus 1, and you can hear there's just a nice layer of distortion without it being overwhelming. So those are the built-in buses. My fourth favourite thing about OneShot are the chokes. You actually get 3 different options here and it gives you a lot more control. So currently I've got this hi-hat and tom pattern playing. It's quite simple. So if I just open up the chokes for the hi-hat, you'll see each slot's name will come up at the bottom here. I want to find that tom that's playing, which I think is this FT one here. Now if I slide the amount up, it will start choking it. So you can hear the hi-hat is now choking the tom. If I drag down the amount slightly, you'll hear it doesn't choke it fully, so you get a little bit more control there. Next up is time. This effectively just sets the decay for the choke. That just gives us a nice bit of extra control. You also have this velocity control, which is really cool. It just sets the amount of the choke based on the velocity of the trigger. So if I start dragging the velocity of that hi-hat up and back down, so just 3 nice, easy and powerful controls for your chokes. And finally, for my 5th favourite thing, it's the UI. People overlook the UI, but actually think it's a really important component, and everything here is just a click away too. I particularly like the way buses have been implemented. It kind of reminds me of how it's done in Logic, and that's one of my favourite features of Logic. It's just super simple, drag up the pot and you're away. Please don't come after me, Ableton gang. But these are just my top 5. Please do let me know in the comments, what are you enjoying about OneShot, or if you haven't picked it up yet, what are you looking forward to trying out? And I'll catch you in the next one.